Deep disapproval of Congress and dissatisfaction with partisan division appeared no match for congressional incumbency on Tuesday, as Republicans seem to have retained a firm hold on the House of Representatives, assuring the continuation of divided government for at least another 2 years. Democrats began the year with deep pockets and a plan to focus on scores of Republican freshmen, particularly those with a Tea Party imprimatur, in an effort to retake the House after losing it in 2010. But in the first congressional election since decennial redistricting, Republicans, thanks to their control of many state legislatures, managed to shore up many incumbents by fashioning districts that Democrats had little chance of capturing. Retirements by a large number of Democratic members, and a message on Medicare that more or less fizzled, were additional impediments. Blue Dog Democrats, a group of moderates whose numbers have been dwindling, were particularly endangered as they struggled to defend districts they had long held. In the end, the bravado of Representative Nancy Pelosi of California, the minority leader, who earlier this year suggested that fights over Medicare and other issues would help deliver the House back to her party, was misplaced. Republicans placed their greatest hopes on North Carolina, where their redistricting efforts targeted vulnerable Democrats more than just about anywhere else. In a seat left open by the retirement of one prominent blue dog, Representative Brad Miller, the former federal prosecutor, George Holding, easily defeated his Democratic opponent, Charles Malone. Another Democratic incumbent, Representative Larry Kissel, long used to fending off Republicans, lost to Richard Hudson, the former Republican staffer. In Kentucky, Republicans got their wish and finally tossed Representative Ben Chandler, one of the last remaining blue dogs, from his seat. Andy Barr, who lost to Mr. Chandler by 647 votes in 2010, finally took out the incumbent, who had served since 2004. There were some bright spots for Democrats. Alan Grayson, who lost his Florida seat in 2010 to Representative Daniel Webster, got a return ticket to Washington when he defeated the Republican Todd Long in the new 9th District. Lois Frankel, another Democrat, prevailed in an open seat in that state, and the Democrat Joe Garcia beat Representative David Rivera, who was under federal investigation. Illinois, where Democrats focused much of their effort, was a strong point for the party. Tammy Duckworth, a veteran who lost her legs in the Iraq War, easily defeated Representative Joe Walsh, a freshman and Tea Party favorite, and will become the first combat-injured woman to serve in Congress. Representative Bobby Schilling, a pizza parlor owner with no previous elected experience, joined the seat of one-termers when he was defeated by Jerry Bustos, and a long-serving Republican, Judy Biggert, fell to Bill Foster. In New Hampshire, Ann Custer defeated Representative Charles Bass, and in Georgia, where Republicans thought they would pick off the last white Democrat in the Deep South, Representative John Arrow prevailed. But Republicans began to count their wins Tuesday night as well. Representative Tom Latham of Iowa defeated Representative Leonard Boswell in a battle of incumbents, even though President Obama won the state. Also in Iowa, Representative Steve King handily beat back Christy Vilsack, the wife of Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, the former Iowa governor. Republicans also picked up a seat in Pennsylvania where Keith Rothfuss picked off Mark Kritz, a Democrat with a strong labor union following. Democrats had a far better day overall in the Senate, maintaining their control there and ensuring that the two chambers would continue their contentious relationship through 2014. Most immediately, with no undisputed mandate on either side of the aisle to manage fiscal policy, Congress will move to confront the so-called fiscal cliff and simultaneous expiration of myriad tax provisions and drastic budget cuts. It remains to be seen whether the tone and content of the bruising fight over the debt ceiling and other fiscal matters in the 112th Congress will continue into the next session, or if both parties will conclude that the only mandate lawmakers have is to finally work together and bridge the gap on those difficult issues. For 2 years, our majority in the House has been the primary line of defense for the American people against a government that spends too much, taxes too much, and borrows too much when left unchecked, House Speaker John Boehner said Tuesday. In the face of a staggering national debt that threatens our children's future, our majority passed the budget that begins to solve the problem. He added, with this vote, the American people have also made clear that there is no mandate for raising tax rates. Many Democrats started the cycle off in strong position, particularly after high-profile fights in Congress over issues like the payroll tax extension and student loan rates. But the environment changed significantly as time went on, with voters divided over the disparate policy prescriptions offered by the two parties on the economy, entitlements and taxes. As the leaves began to change and the temperatures dropped, what once seemed like a Democratic surge evaporated. There appeared to be no single issue that Democrats could turn to their advantage, like the healthcare debate that so dominated the 2010 congressional elections and propelled Republicans back into the majority. President Obama's coattails had little effect in many states he easily won. The poor showing is likely to result in new questions about whether Ms. Pelosi will remain her party's leader in the House.